Okay, I've been thinking lately about how I miss growing up. I miss living in a town, not a city. But I don't know, the way cities are defined has changed, and towns has changed over the years since I've been alive. And this where I am right now, the population I think it's just under 10,000. So it's not a big city. Where I live, however, is a suburb of Dallas. It's number 4, the 4th largest suburb of Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. It's northeast of Dallas, and it's number 9 in the state of Texas. It's pretty big, and so it's a suburb, but it's a city all to itself. And it's just, things like going to going shopping, grocery shopping, wherever shopping, just driving down the road, just getting out of your neighborhood, out of your own road. Well, I live in a neighborhood, it's all houses, and they're estates. They call them the estates. Apparently that's a big difference here. I'm Texan, and and this is Texas, and but just backing up, there's going to be somebody. Just going in the grocery store, there's going to be somebody that needs something right where I'm standing every time. I cannot remember a time I have been to the grocery store and somebody didn't need something right where I was standing, right where I just walked up and just about to reach my hand out to get something, and they need something right then and right there. My filter is pretty much broken now. I have a shirt that says that. I used to never wear shirts, with anything written on them. I do now. And it says, I'm sorry, or I might say not sorry, but my filter's broken. Yeah, but I'll say things like stand in line and wait your turn. That's what I taught my kids, my students. What these adults forget once they become adults. Anyway, let's look at the birds here. Okay, one just flew over. Let's see if I can, zoom out. One just flew over my car. And just as I turned that off, you would have seen it in full flight. Flew toward the front, then over it. The lighter ones are female. The darker ones are grackles. They're both grackles, but the darker ones are the male grackles. So, did they eat all of that I just put out there? Seriously? I better go, because I've been feeding them so much. See this guy, doing this thing? I had come all the way out here to get away from all that up there, and the birds were surrounding my SUV and all that. And I wanted to feed the birds, so I wanted to come out here so they could have room. And that guy right there came right next to me. And I'm like, really? I'm way out here. And I wanted to be way away from anybody, like doing stuff like parking next to me. That's happened. You go, that happened a lot in my life, when you go and park way far away from anybody and somebody's going to come park right next to you. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Right there, and as I came out, somebody's going to be coming right behind me. I miss living in a place where that kind of thing would not happen every second of everything. It's like you're being rushed, go, this kind of thing. Constantly, somebody tailgating because the speed limit in a neighborhood is 30 and you're driving 30. You know what I'm saying? Losing my voice. But yeah, I'm tired of that happening. In my neighborhood, it says 30, or, right by the school. And I'm going the speed limit, and no. They're going to tell you have to go much faster, and then they zoom around in a neighborhood with kids. Zoom around, and they floor it. And you might think that they're, teenagers, rebellious teenagers, something like that. No. The last time that I parked at a park, it's in my neighborhood. This is bouncing again all over. But anytime I park at the park, I used to do that. I used to make my videos parked at the park. And the last time, with 2 people, and it was a woman driving and a man sitting next to her. They look like a married couple in their 50s. Okay, was, but that's what it looked like. And they went around that, and it's the park. It's a big park. It's the whole block is only a big park and an elementary school. And they went around it. The second time they came around it, I don't know how they got around it that fast. There's no way to cut, no way to come back that way without going all the way around it. And they got there so fast, and when they came by me, they were zooming past it. It was a park. Okay, this is crazy. School zone. I don't know what is wrong with this mount. This is the second one I've had. The first one didn't do all this stuff, like blurring it and bouncing all around. I don't know what. I'm not going to buy another one. Just take my chance. Which one will it be? The one that works right or the one that works wrong? So anyway, I'm kind of exhausted. I guess I have been out for several hours, a few hours. I started a video, I don't know what time. Right now it's 2:50. And I forgot to stop and get myself something to eat. I had some French fries. That's what I had. No salt added at Wendy's. So, but I haven't eaten, and I need to go get myself something to eat because my stomach's growling. It's 2:51 now. Yeah. So I got to get myself something somewhere. But where? Out here they don't allow restaurants real close. Did you see that? No, you couldn't see that. But oh my goodness, the way people drive. But I miss things about being in a smallish town where people don't just run out in front of you. They're not all rude. They're not all pushing you down the road. I don't go any faster. They're not going to be paying my ticket if I were to get a ticket. No. Like this road right here is 30 miles per hour. I cannot recall any time that if there's somebody else on the road that they weren't on my tail. Because I drive 30. They're not going to pay my ticket. Why would I move? It's two lanes. See? I can't turn it far enough. But only one lane going each direction. And it says do not pass. Okay, so you think they're going to be paying my ticket for me? If I speed up so they can go as fast as they want? Why would I do that? Why? Contributing to their breaking the law? That is the law. So I'm going to contribute to it? Really? And cause myself to break the law too? Wow, no. But some people think that way. They really honestly do think that way. Well, I better speed up because they're on my tail. I'm not telling anybody what to do or not to do, but I wouldn't do it. The police officer sees you and boom, time for you to get a ticket. That's not my life. That's not how I live it. Nope, not gonna be. Maybe I won't go get something to eat. Adam had started cooking something. He went also to somewhere else. I had left. Like I was saying, I had started a video at the beginning of this, and I was so frustrated. I was very, ticked off. And I never did even get to say what had ticked me off yesterday and what was today. And I needed time to be by myself, really, and do some things. So I went there and fed the birds 4 times, total. And I'd gone to another place, and then Adam called, said he wanted to go somewhere to eat. I get all the way over here, and he said he was going to go somewhere else. I wasn't even at the house. I'd called him right before that, and I'm like, oh, that's good. That was great, because I needed to be away from him. I need to be away from everybody. The last couple of days have been really, it's one of those, when it sums up that, what's important to you, people like your doctor's office doesn't take the time. They'll take the money that you give them. I don't give money. I have insurance, and it pays like practically 100%. It'll be $5 copay. Wow. But they'll take that. It's make all these. They're going to do this and that. was 2 or 3 weeks ago. And what my medication is a specialty medication. Supposed to, for the first time, I'm going to take it for my rare health condition. Finally, after all these years I've had since I was a child. And they're taking their freaking time. Just do it like I said. You know, I don't want to try to go through this one and that one and that. No. Okay, now I'm going to have fun here. Okay, now I think this is funny. You know, I've been out all these hours. I don't know how many hours. And I left. See, my voice is going out. I left because I was very... Let me try again. Okay, it's much later now. It's actually 8:37, somewhere around there, p.m. It's dark. Seems like it would be later. But boy, it was an exhausting day. I'm serious. You know, after I left, after I left Walmart, came home, and I was supposed to get myself something to eat, and I didn't. I had to come home and cook myself something. Why I stopped that video was because, just as I was saying it, that, you know, I was gone all that time, and Adam was gone too. He drove up right then. I mean, I had just driven up, and he drove up. You know, it was weird. But the reason I needed me time, I really needed it bad, and I needed to be away from him. Me time away from everybody, everything, the dogs, the house, the everything. I needed some me time, major. And because so much has been going on. Well, right after that, sure enough, oh my goodness, it was just, it's that I'm waiting on this medication. It's a specialty drug. It's one of the top tier drugs. They're trying to tell me that it's going to cost me $500 a month. I was told $90 a month. $90.39. That I can do. But $500, I don't know. I don't want to do that. And yes, I was lied to. And you know how this goes. Oh my goodness, don't we all? At some point we learn it is not, you know, the medical is supposed to be about the patient. Since when is it? I mean, maybe we don't all learn that. Maybe we know. I'm starting to exaggerate and say the things in all or none myself. I don't talk like that. But my experience, seriously, a lot of it is that. It's all, you know, too much is, it seems like the patient isn't even involved in the whole thing, except to hold up an insurance card. That's how I've been feeling for the last few years, is holding the insurance card with dollar signs dangling off of it. And that's all that I am, a blob sitting there. Because, I mean, some of this stuff I cannot believe. Some of it I really honestly cannot believe that I've been through this. And what I'm now waiting on is this specialty drug, which is for my rare health condition. It's very rare. I've had since I was a child. And this is supposed to help, you know, with my diabetes, my blood pressure, help me overall, you know, all around. And they're playing this game with it because what happened today was I was cooking and I finished eating, or I was starting to cooking or something. Phone rang. I just ignored it. I continued to do whatever I was doing in the kitchen. And when I got back in, I had to call them. It was my regular old pharmacy. I get regular medications. Well, that doctor's office, apparently the people who have a reputation for not getting things done right, for that doctor, people have given them reviews, and I've experienced this a few times myself. I keep wanting to say one or two. No, it's been a few. They're not together right. They're not doing things right, and that's what they did. They sent it to my regular pharmacy instead of the specialty pharmacy. The pharmaceutical company actually called, not the pharmaceutical company, but their the insurance's company. Insurance's what is it called? You know, when they tell you your benefits and all that, they actually called the doctor's office and told them what needs to be done. and they screwed it up. And it was supposed, this is 2.5 weeks. It was supposed to be done in a few days. I mean, this is 2.5 weeks since I saw the doctor. It was supposed to be done a few days after that and completed it. But it's not. And I really kind of wonder, in a way, if they're trying to sabotage his practice, because reading those reviews, that's what they say. He's a great doctor, but his staff is so bad. Doesn't he know this? But anyway, it took again hours. I don't even know how long. You know, maybe not hours, maybe it was an hour or more. Again, for me to try to sort through this, because I had to call well, it probably was hours, because I had to wait for the pharmacy to call me back. Okay. And, because they had called me, I had to call them. You know, you have to leave a message, and then they have to call you, you know, when they get available. When they're available to call back. And what a mess. And then I had to call the company's benefit program. I had to call them for medication. And then I had to call where it's supposed to be delivered through. I'm sitting here, what I'm thinking, while I'm going slower, I'm thinking, I didn't say the names of all these places, did I? I try not to say the names of any places at all. And if I did, it was pure accidental. It's pure that I'm tired. Because this stuff, it can be so draining. And then the last woman I spoke to was at the one that is supposed to be delivered from. She said, we haven't done anything because we don't have a prescription. Because they were telling me it's going to be $500. I said, do you have this thing that they need to do? You know how they have those coupons, they call them now. They used to call them just cards. And everything changes. I mean, not everything. See, I'm doing that now. When I'm tired, I think I do that. I'll say everything, nothing. Dichotomous talking, dichotomous speech, thinking. I'm tired. But anyway, after all that, I was still, I didn't want to speak to anyone. Because one of the things was Adam had ticked me off. Really. That's one of the reasons I started all this. Because it was just too much. You know, he said something he should not have said. And he knows he should not have said it, but he did anyway. And then he got, like smirking about it. Like a child. He's older than I. That was it. I was at the end of my rope. That was it. No. I am one of those, when it gets to that point, how some people say, somebody that gives the silent treatment, they're the bad one. No. Sometimes the silent treatment is the just being silent is good. Just zip. That's what I do. I zip my lip. I'm not speaking. I'm not playing the game. I'm not gonna, because some people they they know that you're irritated. They know that something's going on, and they're gonna keep pushing buttons. You give them any step. You say anything to them. Even if it's your anger, it doesn't matter. That's another button they can push. I've known far too many people like this. So whenever it gets to me, when I get to that limit, that somebody, I feel like that, I don't care if they're doing it or not. They would be doing it. If they're doing it at all, the least little bit, no, I don't play that. I'm not going to go into their game. They might think it's hilarious. They might think it's all for fun and, just fun. No. If somebody's sitting there pushing your buttons, no. I don't go for that. And so I was upset. But when I came home, I wasn't talking. It wasn't really the silent treatment. It was just, I'm not playing it. Not going to play it. And, yes, I have learned that lesson with so many people since I was a child. They want you to respond. Some people call when you don't, it's called a gray rock maneuver. Some just say people come up with all kinds of names for stuff I knew before I ever heard of gray rock. But no, when I have seen too much since, like I said, since I was a child. People that will just won't stop. They're not going to stop. When they get in that mood, they think it's funny. They think it's fun. Oh, it's just fun and games. And you're too, blaming you, pushing buttons. No. So anyway, I wound up eating, and I crashed. I fell asleep. It had been so emotionally, physically draining. Both emotionally and physically draining. And I crashed, and then Adam woke me up to tell me he was going to the store. And I couldn't go back to sleep. Losing my voice again. And hey, I'm inside this time when it's happening. And then I stayed up for a while, and eventually I went back to sleep again, and I'm about to again, because I'm just kind of like drained. And one time, I ate, and then Adam had started a roast in the morning, and he had wanted a roast before all this happened. He went somewhere else and ate, and all this happened, and hours, and he wanted to cook, to finish the roast. Well, all he has is a roast with some water in a pot. Okay. He never. I'm trying to teach him how to cook. He and I met married when I was 18, and the man doesn't know how to cook. He doesn't know how to. What I say is, since last year I had that heart failure. I said, how would you survive without me? And I wasn't trying to, pat myself on the back. I meant it. He doesn't know how to cook and to plan the cooking and stuff like that. And, to plan, to buy the groceries. None of this stuff, because he never really would. If he bought anything, he went to a certain kind of, usually it was just something for him. He likes a lot of organ meat. I don't. More organs, foods. I don't. So he'd buy that, he'd cook it for himself, fine. I can't, some of the stuff I can't even, and that's not organ meat, but the vegetables, I can't stand the smell of them. I can't, like I say, I don't like the little trees, and I don't like the little green trees, and I don't like the eggplants. I just, no, the smell. There's also something else that smells like walnuts, or not walnut. What is it? Syrup. Yeah. Syrup. So anyway. But then a little while ago I went in there and I made a roux, which I have not made roux in I don't know how long, maybe decades. And I have a sister, she makes the best Cajun gumbo. Oh my goodness. Her roux is very thin, and I've been thinking about it lately. Mine would always turn out thick. Mine would turn out more like gravy you're going to put on mashed potatoes, or beef tips and gravy. It's always thicker. Always, no matter what I do, And it made the house smell so good. Seriously, made the house smell so good. And it's about time. And he ate with some rice. It basically knocked him out. Yeah, he said, I've never felt this. He said, we haven't had rice in a long while. He loves rice, but if he doesn't fall asleep, he gets like people, when people get hangry, it happens when he's had too much carbohydrates. Oh man. And that was not going to be part of this day. I'd had enough. That's why I had my me day. And I might have to separate this from the rest of the video. The good part about the day was me feeding the birds. Yeah, I enjoyed that, feeding the birds. I fed them 4 times. I could say 4 times. One time I was there and I fed them and they all went away. Then I fed them again, they came back, and they went away, and then I fed them again, and then they came back again. And then another one was separate. Or was it 2 times? Yeah. Finally just threw all the rest of the seeds, feral bird seeds, that I had in a little plastic thing. I have a whole bag left. I mean, not a whole bag, but a big bag. So, I don't know, I'm rambling at this point, so maybe I'll just go ahead and wrap this up. But, yeah, the whole thing going on, nothing was resolved. Nothing was resolved with the medication thing. The woman, basically the last one, she told me that, give us a few days. Well, today's Friday. So a few business days is going to be sometime probably next Friday. And they're still going to have a problem because these people don't understand. And I would tell them, call the doctor yourself, to speak to the doctor. I don't want to be in the middle of all this mess. Because you know what's going to happen if I say, and I should not be saying. They need to explain it to the doctor. Not to me, explain it to the doctor so he understands. And he can check to see why his crew aren't listening and why they don't understand. So people stop giving him bad reviews and stop having to deal with this kind of crap. He needs to be the one that they speak to. You see, I'm not an employee. Not an employee. He is. He's an employee of them. And they're an employee of the insurance. So they need to get it together. They need to speak to one another. Oh no, they like putting the patient in there in case there's any problem. They're just complaining to the patient. I know the score. I don't play that game. Man, the games people play. Enough.